Hello YouTube. This video is about these patch panels and the rust that used to be there. No longer rust. That's good. How did I get there? That follows. So here I am doing one of my most favorite things in the world. Laying my back on the ground, grinding. We have the frame flipped upside down. We found a little surprise. Underneath the mounts is rust. In fact, there's a hole there, and it's on both sides, right underneath the mount for the rear spring. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it out and put new metal in. We've decided to remove from here to here and replace it with a panel. The reason we're going this far is there's a hole there and there's a hole there, and we'll cover it with one patch and there won't be any holes. So here goes the first cut. And the last piece fought us a little bit. Now what we want to do is grind out some of these rivets. That way this piece will come off a lot easier. Well, after a lot of grinding and chiseling, we've chiseled this rail so that it's pretty nice and ready for a pattern and patch. And we're on the very last spot weld on this side. So here we go, let's get the last one off. And there it goes, we're ready for grinding. Finally, a job I can sit down at. What we're going to do is make a template here, just the way I've made a template here, and I'll show you how I did it. And the first thing I do is put a piece of tape across this end to get a nice sharp line for the end, and I'll do the same thing at this end. But we don't want the tape to really stick real too hard to this because we've got to peel it off. So what we do is take the tape and stick it to a rusty piece of metal and then put it across here, because this yellow tape is very sticky. And we'll put one at the other end also. And now what I'll do is I'll put tape this way, all the way down here, and then I'll put another layer of tape running this way, and then I'll reinforce the center. So here we go with putting tape down the frame. Now we don't care how sticky the tape is, so we'll stop putting the dirt on the back side, and we'll put a second layer here at the end. And now what we'll do is lay some tape out this way. It's important to remember we have to pick the tape up from this corner because the tape is overlapping this way. So if we pick it from this corner, it should all come up. But let's put another layer of tape on there. Now we'll put another layer of tape down the center. And now we're ready to start cutting out the pattern. And the way I do it is just take a hammer and hammer along the edge. And once you get it started, it will come off. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. Now that we have the tape all trimmed off, we got to peel it off here. That's why we put double layer on there. It turns out that these patterns are fairly straight. So I'm gonna put them right next to each other. I guess they're not that straight. Now all we gotta do is cut it out. Here we go with the first cut. All done. Well, let's see how it fits. The driver's side fits pretty good. And the passenger side's going to fit too. What we're doing now is drilling holes for rosette welds to hold our patches in place. And that was the last hole. The other side's already drilled. We had the patches in place and clamped in place. We're ready to weld the seams. Then we're going to flip the frame over, and all the holes that I drilled will do rosette welds all the way along. Here we are welding up the seams. What we're looking at here is the top side of the frame. We flipped the frame back over, and these holes are the holes that I drilled earlier. And what we're going to do is rosette weld each one of these holes to completely fasten the patch to the frame. So here we go with the wire wheel. Too much do that again. Here we are doing the rosette welds in the frame. This is what the rosette welds look like when they're ground off. Now we're ready to go look at the other side. And this is what the patches look like now. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. There'll be more.